Everyone's telling you to only risk what you can afford to lose. And that advice is absolute garbage that's keeping 90% of you permanently stuck in small account hell. I'm about to destroy the sacred cow that every trading guru preaches. Some of you are going to leave angry comments calling me reckless. Others will finally understand why they've been spinning their training wheels for years. But the traders that really take on board what I'm about to share, they're the ones that will make life-changing money while everyone else is playing it safe and remaining broke. Let me take you back to 2019. I had just started trading. I was following every piece of conventional advice that I could find. Only risk 1 to 2% per trade. Never risk more than you can afford to lose. Protect your capital at all costs. I was that model student, risking 50 to 75 pounds per trade on my 5,000 pounds account. You know where that got me? The same exact place 3 years later. Then I met a trader that had blown many accounts before finally making over 6 figures. Over lunch, I showed him my journal, expecting praise for my discipline. Instead, I received laughter. Not in a cool way, but like someone who had been exactly where I was. He said something to me that changed my entire trading career. Bro, you're not protecting yourself. You're protecting yourself from success. You're risking so little that failure doesn't hurt enough to teach you anything. He explained that until your position sizes genuinely make you uncomfortable, you'll never develop the discipline, the precision, and the respect for the market required to trade at a professional level. He told me about his breakthrough. It didn't come from finding a better strategy or learning a new indicator. It came from increasing his position size to a level where he literally could not afford to be mediocre anymore. That conversation haunted me for 2 weeks because deep down, I knew he was right. I had been taking trades that were questionable because it was only a £50 risk. I wasn't analyzing my losses properly because they didn't hurt enough to demand my attention. I was comfortable being average because my risk was so small that staying average didn't have any real consequences. If losing a trade doesn't bother you enough to force real change, this video is going to completely transform how you think about position sizing and why you're still stuck. Here's what's really happening when you follow the risk what you can afford to lose advice, and why this seemingly safe approach is the most dangerous thing for your trading development. The fundamental problem with risk what you can afford to lose is that it psychologically programs you for failure. Think about what that phrase actually means. You're entering every trade with the mindset that losing is not just possible, but acceptable. You're giving yourself permission to be wrong because you've already decided you can afford it. This creates a toxic cycle that I lived in for years. When I was risking £50 per trade, losing felt like a minor inconvenience. I'd take the loss, feel slightly annoyed, and move on without doing the deep analysis necessary to prevent the same mistakes. Why would I spend 2 hours dissecting a £50 loss when I could just take another trade tomorrow? That casual attitude toward losses meant that I kept repeating the same errors indefinitely. But the damage goes much deeper than that. When your position sizes are comfortable, you don't develop the critical skills that separate professionals from perpetual beginners. You don't refine your timing to perfection because being slightly early or late doesn't create enough pain to demand improvement. You don't learn to be ultra selective with your entries because taking a marginal trade only costs you an affordable amount. I remember watching myself take a trade in December 19 that I knew, and I mean I absolutely knew, was a C grade setup at best. My trend analysis was unclear, my confluence was weak, and I had a nagging voice in my head that was telling me this isn't your best work. But I took the trade anyway because I was bored and it was only a £60 risk. The trade stopped me out within 30 minutes. I shrugged, made a note in my journal, and forgot about it. 3 weeks later, I took almost the exact same trade. Same pair, same weak confluences, same internal voice telling me it wasn't great. Lost again. Do you know why I repeated the same mistake? Because the first loss didn't hurt enough to create a neural pathway in my brain that screamed, never do this again. The consequence was too small to create lasting change. Compare that to what happened after I increased my position sizes. In February 2021, I took a questionable trade on EUR/GBP risking £750. Everything about it felt slightly off, but I talked myself into it. When it stopped me out an hour later, I felt physically sick. That £750 loss represented a week's salary. I couldn't just shrug it off and move on. That analysis created such a powerful association between weak setup and massive pain that I never took a trade like that again. One loss with meaningful consequences taught me more than 20 affordable losses had in the previous 2 years. This is the truth that nobody wants to tell you. Real growth in trading doesn't come from taking hundreds of small losses that you can afford. It comes from taking a few painful losses that hurt enough to force permanent behavioral change. Professional traders aren't better than you because they're smarter or have secret strategies. They're better because they learn their lessons through consequences that mattered. Here's where most traders get this completely wrong when they hear risk more. They think I'm saying to gamble recklessly or risk your rent money on a single trade. That's not what this is about at all. The question isn't how much can I afford to lose? The question is, how much do I need to risk to force myself to trade like my financial future depends on it? Let me break down the exact framework for optimal position sizing, the approach that creates professional level growth without reckless gambling. First is the discomfort threshold principle. Your position size should create what I call constructive discomfort. Enough pressure to elevate your performance, but not so much to the point where it paralyzes your decision making. To find your personal threshold, think about an amount that if you genuinely lost would bother you for the rest of the day. Not devastate you, not ruin your week, but bother you to the point that you would think about why you lost it and how to prevent it next time. For most traders, this is somewhere around 3 to 7 days of their current income. When I used to earn £250 per day at my job, my discomfort threshold was around £800 per trade. Losing that meant I had just given back 4 days of work, which created enough pain that I demanded excellence without creating so much fear I couldn't pull the trigger on good setups. The key test is this: when you're about to enter a trade with your current position size, do you think, I need to make sure this is my best analysis, or do you think whatever happens, happens? If it's the latter, your position size is too small to create the accountability necessary for growth. Number 2 is the pain to gain calibration system. There's a specific type of pain that creates growth and another type that creates destruction. Your position size needs to create the former while avoiding the latter. Constructive pain feels like disappointment in yourself for not following your rules, motivation to analyze the trades that went wrong, determination to improve your process, and accountability for your decisions. This is the pain that creates lasting change. Destructive pain is panic during the trade, desperation to make it back, emotional revenge trading, and fear that prevents you from taking the next good setup. This is the type of pain that destroys accounts and careers. If I lose a trade and my first thought is I need to analyze what went wrong, my position size is perfect. If my first thought is I need to make that back immediately, my position size is too big. And if my first thought is whatever, it's just money, my position size is too small. Adjust your position sizes until you start to notice that your emotional intensity when taking a loss starts to become less. Number 3 is the performance pressure sweet spot. Elite performers in every field understand optimal pressure. Too little pressure creates complacency. Too much pressure creates paralysis. Professional traders operate in a narrow band between these extremes. When trading at my optimal position size, I feel a heightened focus when doing my analysis. I apply strict adherence to my stop loss rules and patience to wait for the best setups, and I feel a sense of pride when I execute my plan perfectly. When my position size is too small, I feel casual about my analysis. I'm loose with my rules, impatient to get into something, and my execution quality just isn't there. When my position size is too large, I feel anxiety during analysis, hesitation to pull the trigger on good setups, a temptation to move my stop losses, and relief whenever I close any positions out. Your optimal position size will have you feel energized and focused, not comfortable or terrified. The sweet spot will change as your account grows and your confidence increases, so you need to regularly reassess this. Next is the skill-based scaling framework. Your position size should directly reflect your demonstrated competence. This isn't about ego, it's about mathematics. Better traders have larger edges, and larger edges justify larger position sizes. I use the tiered approach based on rolling performance. Tier 1 is your learning phase. If your last 30 trades show inconsistent results or a win rate below 40%, you're still developing your edge. Risk amounts that will create accountability but won't devastate you, typically 2 to 3 days of income per trade. Tier 2 is the proven phase. If your last 30 trades have showed a consistent profitability with a win rate above 50%, you've demonstrated an edge. Increase to 3 to 4 days of income per trade to capitalize on your proven skills. Tier 3 is the professional phase. If you've maintained consistent profitability with over 90 trades with strong risk to reward and consistent execution, you've earned the right to risk more. And at this level, your edge should reflect your position sizing. Here's the critical rule. You must move back down tiers if your performance starts to deteriorate. After 2 consecutive losing weeks, I reduce my position size 50% until I rebuild my confidence and consistency. This prevents blow-up risk while maintaining the pressure needed for excellence. Lastly is the monthly performance audit. Every month, conduct this honest assessment. The first question you have to answer is, how many trades did I take that barely met my criteria? And be honest. Second question is, how many losses did you analyze deeply where you really went back through it from top to bottom as to why you took that trade? Third question is, how many times did I violate my stop loss or risk management rules? The fourth question is, am I progressing towards my financial goals at my current pace? Doing this monthly audit keeps you honest about whether your position sizing is creating the growth that you need or just the comfort that you want. Let me share the complete story of how discovering optimal position sizing transformed my trading and why this might be the most important lesson in your trading career. It was January 2022. I had just finished my worst year of trading. Not because I lost money, I actually made £3,200 on an 8K account, around a 40% return. But I had spent over 1,000 hours that year staring at charts. I calculated my effective hourly rate. I made less than a third world sweatshop worker whilst everyone was on Twitter posting screenshots of 5-figure months. The breaking point came at a family dinner. My uncle asked me how my trading was going. I gave him my practice response saying it's going well and I'm up over 40% this year. I could see the excitement on his face, but then he asked me how much that was in actual pounds. When I said £3,200, his face dropped. I knew he was thinking, you spent a whole year at this to make £3,200 only. I realized I had 2 options. Accept that trading will always be a side hobby that earned me grocery money, or fundamentally change my approach to position sizing. The safe path was staying comfortable with small risks. The actual path to success required me to become uncomfortable. I spent the next 2 weeks developing my new framework. I calculated my discomfort threshold, the amount that would force me to trade like a professionalist instead of a hobbyist. Based on my £250 daily salary, I calculated that £800 per trade would create the pressure that I needed. This represented 10% of my account and more than 3 days worth of work. That pressure forced me to do everything right. I spent hours analyzing pairs before entering. My entries had to be perfectly timed because they couldn't afford to be sloppy. And my stop loss placement had to be precise because I couldn't afford to waste any of that £800 risk. That trade made me £2,100. In one trade, I had made 2/3 of what I'd made the entire previous year. More importantly, I had just experienced what professional trading felt like. The focus, the precision, the discipline. It only emerged when the stakes were high enough to demand it. The next 3 months were the most stressful, but yet the most transformative of my trading career. I took 27 trades in total, fewer than I'd take in a single month with my old approach. The difference was each trade received professional level attention because each trade this time round mattered enough to demand it. My win rate jumped from 54% to 68%, not because I found a better strategy. I was still using the same technical analysis that I normally used. The difference was I could no longer afford to take marginal setups. Every trade had to meet my criteria completely or I didn't take it. By the end of March 2022, my account had grown from 8,000 to 14,500. I had made more in 3 months than I did in the previous 3 years of trading. But the real transformation wasn't in my account balance, it was in my identity as a trader. I had stopped being someone who trades on the side and became someone who trades professionally. The shift only happened because my position sizes forced it to happen. April brought about my first major test. I took 3 consecutive losses, one for £800, another for £750, and the other one was £825. In just 5 days, I gave back almost £2,500 of the profit that I made. The old me would have shrugged off 3 small losses and kept trading. The new me felt that pain in my chest. I kept replaying those trades over and over in my mind. The pain forced me to do something I'd never done before. I took a full week off trading to analyze what went wrong. and I discovered I violated all of my rules on all 3 trades. I got cocky after my winning streak and started taking incomplete setups. Those 3 painful losses taught me more about discipline than 20 months of profitable trading with small sizes ever had. 6 months into my new position sizing approach, and I had my first 10K month. My account had grown from 8,000 to 29,000, but more importantly, I had transformed myself as a trader. I was no longer the person taking random trades because they was bored. I was no longer the person making the same mistakes repeatedly. I was no longer the person who treated trading like a casual hobby. Here's the truth that took me 3 years to understand. Comfortable traders stay comfortable. Professional traders are professional because they operate under pressure that demands professionalism. The risk what you can afford to lose advice is designed to keep you safe, but safety and growth are opposites. Every major breakthrough in my trading career came from stepping out of my comfort zone. And my biggest breakthrough came from me stepping way out of my comfort zone with my position sizing. Look, I'm not telling you to risk your rent money. I'm not telling you to gamble with money you need for emergencies. I'm telling you to be ruthlessly honest about whether your current position sizes are creating enough pressure for the growth that you claim you want. If you can lose a trade and move on without deep analysis, your losses aren't hurting you enough to create the change. If you're not progressing towards your financial goals at your current pace, your position sizing is the problem. The market rewards those who demand excellence from themselves, but excellence only emerges once mediocrity has real consequences. Stop asking how much can I afford to lose, and start asking how much do I need to risk to become the trader that I need to be. The answer will make you uncomfortable. That discomfort is the price of transformation. And transformation is the only path to the trading career you actually want. Now, drop a comment below with your current risk per trade and honestly tell me, does losing that amount hurt to the point where you need to analyze and improve? Or can you shrug it off and move on? If you're brave enough to admit you've been playing it too safe and you're ready to step into discomfort that creates real growth, type optimal below. I read every comment and I'll personally respond to you to help you find your optimal position sizing. But warning, I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to hear. If this video made you realize you've been stuck for time, smash that like button and subscribe, because I'm going to keep dropping these uncomfortable truths that transform your trading instead of just making you feel safe. The link to my free community is in the description below. I'm building a group of traders who understand that comfort is the enemy of excellence. Let's grow together. See you guys on the next video. Thank you for watching the latest episode. If you like that, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more content. I'll see you on the next video.